Tim Sheldon with the Timmons Group. In this video, I want to talk to you about the Realign Route function on the Roads and Highways toolbar. What you're looking at is ArcMap version 10.6.1 with some data from NCDOT loaded. So on my Roads and Highways toolbar, I've already chosen MilePoint as my network. So there's several things I want to show you about the Realign Route tool. So the first one, let me show you what I consider to be the most basic use of the tool. And that's going to be a case where both the beginning and the end of the realignment touch the route we're realigning. What I'd like to do is basically take this curve out of the road. So the road, we're going to pretend like we got documentation or whatever that shows the road pretty much just going straight across here. To change the alignment of a route, I need a new piece of centerline because it's a new bit of geometry. So to do that, we're going to use the Create Features tool and add a new centerline feature. Right, so I always like to use snapping. So in this case, we're just going to use edge snapping. So let's start our new piece maybe here. We'll do a little bit of weird geometry. I'd hate for a DOT to try and hire me away from my digitization skills. So when we snap back to the other side of the route, we're going to click F2 to finish the sketch. Now, what I've done before the video, and I should talk you through, is I did make sure that the route is measured in the direction that I need it to be. And what I mean by that is the route starts over here, so we can confirm this by clicking here with the Identify LRS Route Locations tool. So over here is 0.01 miles. We'll click over here somewhere is 0.108. So we know that the measures increase in this general direction. You'll notice that's also the direction that I digitize my new centerline feature in. So we want to keep those two things kind of in concert. So the digitization direction does match the measured direction in this case. So now that we've got our pretty spectacular new alignment drawn here, let's go ahead and use the Choose Centerlines tool. And then we'll click the Realign Route button. So just like everything else in Roads and Highways, it's very temporally sensitive. So let's go ahead and pick our effective date. The 9th looks good. So we want to pick the route ID that we're realigning. Still very straightforward. So once I click that, you notice that all of these measures are populated for me, and the tool's pretty much ready to go. This is the easiest example of this tool because everything is pretty much handled for you. Let me talk through what the different sections of this dialog mean. It's important to know where these measures came from. So obviously there's the date. We got that part already. There's the route ID that we chose, pretty straightforward. This set of from and to measure values that are in the source route box, you can think of these as the measures that are associated with the new alignment of your route. And then the measures that are down here in the split measure values, you can think of these as the measures that are associated with the old alignment of the route. So you notice that the from measure for both sets on the dialog is the same, 0.136283. So that's this light green dot. Then if you follow the original alignment of the route down here over to the dark green dot, you'll see that that is 0.254217. We can confirm this with the Identify LRS Route Locations. So 254,487, it's off a little bit because I didn't snap to anything, but you get the idea. And then this is a lower number, 215 versus 254. So the reason that is a lower number is because that's following this distance across this line, which is shorter than this curve. So that's the lower number. So that's kind of how you can explain it to yourself and make sure you understand where all these numbers came from. There's also a couple check boxes here to talk about. So this first one, recalibrate route downstream. I always want to have this checked. So what this is going to do is when I do this realignment, it's going to go ahead and update the measure values of the route downstream. So as the route continues on off my screen here. And then the second one is do not apply event measure behaviors. We're going to leave this unchecked because we do want to apply those event measure behaviors so that whatever events we have on this route and in the vicinity of this realignment, so all those events get updated properly based on this realignment. So I'm happy with all these measures. I talked myself through, I explained them, I'm happy with this, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and we'll let the software do the realignment for us. So we click the center line off, and we can see our new alignment here. If we wanted to see what it looked like before, we can use the Set Date Filter button, and we can change the calendar. We can roll the time back to the date before the realignment was effective. So now we see the curve again. And then to put it back where it is, we use the current system date and time. Okay, so that's what it looks like right now. So let me show you a couple other functions. I did go find a couple other places I wanted to show you. So let's look at realigning the beginning of a route. So in this case, let's assume business case here is that this route starts here, goes in this general direction, and it's not supposed to start here. It's supposed to start just a little bit southwest. So it's supposed to start somewhere around here. So this should be the zero measure, and then it should pick up this existing alignment. So just like the other one, to do a realignment, we need a new piece of geometry. So we'll go ahead and create one. After we turn the center line on, we'll create one. So back to my snapping settings. Edge snapping is appropriate here because I do want to snap to this route. The new alignment is going to start. So we'll click here. We'll make this a little less special than usual. And then what I'd like to do is, instead of snapping to the edge here, I think I'd like to snap to the vertex. So we'll just click once on that vertex, and then I'm going to click F2 to finish the sketch. So here's our new piece of geometry. So just like in the other example, we'll choose it, and then we'll click the Realign Route tool. Nothing special here. We're still picking an effective date. This is the same. We're still going to choose the route. So this is the route we want to realign. But if you notice, not all my measures are filled in. So both of these measures are populated. This measure is missing completely, and this one is populated. So this is a good time to talk yourself back through what these measures mean and see if your understanding jives with what you're seeing. So the top box, source route parameters, is supposed to be the from and to measure of the new alignment, right? So the new alignment is going to be here, and then the realign piece is going to stop here. So that doesn't quite make sense to me because this is 0 and this is not 0. It's almost 0, but it's not. So what I'd like to do is I'm just going to change that to 0. Okay, this didn't change. This is the same. I don't know that that's quite right because this is supposed to be the measures along my new section. So just to confirm, I'm going to use the measure tool and just kind of roughly follow that alignment. So if you look at the measure tool there, 0.015093. That's not quite right. And that's not what that's telling me. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to click this calculate button and see if that updates for me. It did. Okay. So 0.015093 is pretty much what I measured there. So now we know that these two measures are correct. This one that's missing completely. The reason it's missing is because the beginning point of my new alignment that I digitized doesn't touch the route. So the software doesn't know what measure along the old route the realignment begins at. So we'll just tell it. It starts at 0. There our light green dot pops up because I typed 0 there. We could have also select the measure from the map, assuming that we snap to the end of the route, but I know it's 0, so I felt comfortable just typing 0. Remember, these are going to be the measurements along the original alignment, so 0 to 0.15322. If we want to confirm that, we can do that just as easily with the measure tool. 0.015239. Very close. So I'm comfortable with that. So what we'll do is make sure our checkboxes are okay. So that one's still checked like I need it to be. That one's unchecked like I talked you through earlier. So let's go ahead and click OK. So we'll find out pretty soon if we've chosen everything correctly. This is a great way to really mess up your measure values of your route. You could get not a number monotonicity errors. In this case, it looks like everything is good to go. We can click a couple of places to make sure we still have measures. So that was 0000243. And that is 139717. So I don't see anything weird about the measures. And then if I click back and forth across time, we can check out the edit. So that's where it used to be. Here's where it is now. So I feel like this edit has gone well. So that was a good run through that one. So the last one I want to show you is realigning at the end. So in this case, the business case we're going to say is that this road got moved and it's actually supposed to end over here instead of up here. So let me go ahead and check the direction of this one more time. So 000005436 and 173558. So we definitely know that it's increasing as we go to the west here. So let's draw a new piece of geometry. You think I'd remember to turn center line on. Let's draw a new piece of geometry. Snapping to the edge. This looks like a great spot. We'll make some more awesome shape, and then let's just end it right here with the F2 button. All right, so let's choose the new alignment. Realign route. Effective date, I think the 9th looks great. So this is the route we want to realign. The same kind of thing. You see that some of the measures are populated, and there's a missing measure. It's a different missing measure this time. So you probably already figured out why this is missing. It's because the beginning of the realigned section, the new piece, is touching the route. So it knew what that measure was, but it can't find the other end. So it's just blank because it's hanging out here in space. Point 172281. 172281. So I feel pretty good about that because that's telling me that the first split measure value is the same place that it wants to begin the realignment, begin the measures of the new segment. So I'm comfortable with that. And then the 0.212718. I feel good about that because I did choose that piece of geometry and it knows how long the piece of geometry is. So that's going to be along the new route. So the split measure values, remember this is the from and to along the original alignment where the route is going to be split and then realigned. So again, it knows the first one, but it doesn't know the second one. We do. The second one is the end of the route. So what we need to do is snap to the end of the route to choose the to measure. So now if we talk ourselves back through the boxes one more time, just for funsies, the from measures of the split and the new alignment are both the same. That's correct. Then there's the measure along the measures along the new section, 0.212718. And then there's the measures that we're going to split the original route and realign it. So the from, again, 172218. And then I chose the to measure out here, 203234. I feel pretty good about that as well. This checkbox is checked as it's supposed to be. This was unchecked as it's supposed to be. So let's click OK and see if we did it right or if it all comes unglued. All right, looks like we did it right. So we'll turn off the center line. We can see our new geometry, our new alignment there. 0.009, 212541. And then if we want to go back in time and look at it, everything still looks correct to me. And we can call this one good. So again, that's several different uses. So we realigned, let's say we could call it the middle of the route. It's not exactly the middle, but I say middle because the beginning and end of the realigned section both touch the route. We can realign at the beginning, and by that I mean the beginning point of the realignment doesn't touch the route, but the end of that new alignment does. And then we can realign at the end where the beginning of the new piece touches the route and the end of the new piece does not touch the route.